Hello, hi, thank you, Priya. Okay, I'll start by talking about some of my early works, so that you guys have a little bit of idea. I started photography around in college, first year, second year, and I don't come from an art school. I've studied history, and I have done masters in history as well. Don't know when that started and when that ended, but I've been doing photography throughout my college, throughout masters, so it's been almost 15 years next year. Around the time that I started photographing, using my camera, using my phone, Flickr was a thing. If you guys remember, Flickr used to be a big thing in the early 2010s and all of that. So I used to see a lot of people from around the world. This is what the kind of photography people are doing, so that became a big inspiration for me. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll keep on showing photos, but the photos are mostly from the garden series, from the works that are there at the exhibition in Lalit Kala, and some newer works from the series, as well as some of the older works from the series. So I want to talk about my connection with nature and how it ended up in my work. So I grew up all around North India, particularly in Haryana and Punjab, because growing up, my dad used to get posted in different parts of North India. So I'd never had a sense of belonging, that even though my parents are from Uttar Pradesh, but I never lived there, I wasn't born there. So I was always just moved around, stayed in a place for a couple of years, just moved around. Being an introverted, shy kid, didn't have a lot of friends. So this is where nature kind of becomes a constant, that even though you're moving around, but that's one thing, that if there is a garden, there is a park, the cities, northern Indian cities more or less look the same, and they might have a small garden or a small public park, or your school might have a park, or like the locality that you're living in will have nature. So that became a constant thing, that even though I might be moving around a lot, but I will keep seeing the similar trees, similar flowers, similar seasons. So that became something that I noticed a lot and observed a lot as a kid. And when I picked up a camera around the ages of 16, 17, the point and shoot cameras that families used to have. So my family also had that camera. And that is where on family vacations, going on a beach for the first time, going to the mountains for the first time, and that is where the camera angle in my life kind of started. Then the topic of gardens and how the project came about is I shifted to Chandigarh in around 2010-11 for my college, and that is where I noticed that the number of gardens in Chandigarh, if anybody here has visited the city, is quite a lot, and like the central part of the city has multiple gardens lined up, and it's sort of called like a green patch that the city has in the center, because the city has a very European style, because it was made by the like a European architect, Corbusier. And so I used to visit the gardens a lot, but it's not something that everybody did. Like my friends or people have, like, there are malls, there are markets to go, but gardens is not something that people are excited about anymore. I don't know, maybe it's less Instagrammable for people to go to the gardens in comparison to like a nice or pretty cafe. So, and this is where that I am so interested in going to the garden and again photographing it. So I started having conversations with local people in Chandigarh and how they had photos of their parents, people who have born and brought up in Chandigarh, and their family photos, grandparents, parents always had these picnics in the garden, the morning, during winter season, when it's really cold and the bright sun shines, you sit in the garden, you have your picnic, and everybody had those memories. So I went through a lot of those photos, and that is where my curiosity started to recreate those photos and recreate those memories using staged images. For example, this is one of those photos. This photo belongs to a friend of mine, and it's her mother and her friends who have bunked college and went to a garden and gotten these pictures clicked wearing these sunglasses. And so for her, still this is like a memory that, oh, this is something that she doesn't do anymore. This is something she did in the 80s or while growing up, but not she doesn't have the time or doesn't think that it's important to go to a garden and spend leisurely time there. Even though in Chandigarh, still a lot of people still do it, but not as much as we would think. For example, whenever I visit a garden, I think, why is it so empty? Why is there not a lot of people here? And that is that curiosity that started this project. So I'll talk a little bit about Chandigarh. So the city is very much like a mix between concrete and nature, and it looks very different from a lot of North Indian cities because it's very much planned, and that's in the essence of the city. That if every local residential area is gonna have a designated park, and that is for those locals, and then their larger neighborhoods will have one bigger park for people to go for walks, exercises, and all of that. And that is where I shoot mostly. I shoot in bigger parks, bigger vistas. That's what I try to capture in more environmental portraits. Chandigarh became like a home for me when I went to college, and that is why major 2 projects that I have done, both of them have been centered around Chandigarh. One is the garden one, and the other one that I'll talk later on. Towards the end, I'll show the newer project that I'm working on. And the city very much stayed with me throughout all of these projects. I started this project in 2022, soon after COVID. And COVID also became, like when we got stuck in homes, nature became a luxury. Not everybody even had the opportunity that they'll have a backyard or they'll have the access to like a smaller garden. And I personally also felt frustrated that why can't I just go for a stroll in a garden, especially like the starting few months were a little bit more frustrating in that way. And loneliness kind of became, like a lot of people say that COVID went away, but loneliness still lingers. That has sort of come to surface after COVID. And so all of these little factors of my sense of belongingness, my connection with nature, and the loneliness that I felt, and I like had conversations with people, my friends, people around me about that, and how sort of it came together in this project. Another strange thing is that while I was making this project, I wasn't really keeping in mind that this is something that I'm making for like the solitude, the intimacy. That's something that came later on because people noticed that about this work. That's not the thought that I had, but ever since I kept on creating more work after that, it has stayed with me, that there is that lingering, even if in a group setting you're seeing in the photos, there's this lingering loneliness that you see among people. The chance of people making eye contact with the camera is much less. Again, something that wasn't, I had kept in mind. It just happened, and now that I look back at the work, I see that in most of the photos, there is not much of an eye contact happening. This is one of those photos that there is eye contact, and I feel a lot of people appreciate that photo and notice that this in the photo, because there's always that the subjects are in the nature, but they're part of the whole setting rather than them standing out. That makes sure that whatever subject I'm putting in to the frame, they're very much at peace, and I take that time with my subject, that how are they interacting with their environment rather than me directing them a lot. So it takes a lot of time, and every shoot sort of goes on like that. I'll talk about the shooting process later on. Another thing about memory and where the archive photos and family photos that came in, wherever I have exhibited this work, and people from the diaspora, people whose grandparents or parents lived in the northern parts of the country, especially Punjab, but they have grown up, the younger generation has grown up abroad, they find a lot of connection with these images because it becomes that cultural link for them. because they have grown up looking at these photographs of their grandparents, of their parents, but they haven't lived that life. They haven't lived the life of slowness, the life of the 70s, 80s, 90s India in North India. And this is again because me as an artist creating, living in Chandigarh, who has been there for a long time, didn't have that in mind that it's gonna have a different kind of impact on somebody who's looking it outside in. And it's going to create that nostalgia and that sense of memory for those people who even haven't lived that life themselves, but just have seen them through their parents' or grandparents' lens. This is one of those photos that it's not staged. Very few photos in this collection are like more candid, more street. And this is a moment that I just happened to catch while on my regular rounds through the gardens. And they spent good 10 minutes doing this, and their wives were making these poses. And if you notice that the colors of their turbans are matching with the clothes of their wives. Also something that is a very, very common thing, especially like in the older generations in Punjab. And something that I also incorporate while I am creative directing my subjects, even though they are Chandigarh locals, but I still try to sort of style them in a way that they fit in the frames. Okay, I'll talk about my process of how I construct a shoot. For example, this couple is my friend's parents. You might recognize the lady in the frame because her daughter is in a lot of photos again and again, and she's my friend, and she has posed multiple times for me, and this is her parents on their honeymoon. And so the process goes, I reach out to people or my friends, inner circle. Now the people that I'm shooting are like in a wider Chandigarh locals, and I ask them to reach out into their parents' wardrobe and what they were wearing in those times, like preferably 90s, that's what comes out. And I try to style my subjects wearing those older clothes, because you might notice that these are not something that people wear now. It's more old style, more retro rather than contemporary. So this is how my process goes. Then I try to always style them in clothes which are in some way matching with the landscape of the nature, so that they don't stand out, they become part of it, and it becomes like a more homogeneous composition. And so the attention goes more on the nature and less on the subjects. And the posing sort of slowly evolved over the years, because I've been shooting this project for 4 years now. And now what I do is I go back looking at archives, older photos, and research how people used to respond to being clicked in those times. Because now we are so used to being photographed. We all have our poses, somebody pulls out a phone and we know which side looks better, and we know how the light will look better. But in earlier times, people didn't have an idea that where is this photo going? Why are we being photographed? What lens is this? And if 50 mm is a better lens or a 35 a better lens for us. Now we have much more knowledge about all of these things. So I always make sure that people, when they're posing in front of the camera for this project, they should look slightly awkward, slightly not very comfortable in front of the camera. Even if they're aware that they're being photographed, they should look slightly not okay with being photographed, because if you look at photos of older generations, that is something that's a common thread that goes on. And this, again, sorry, this photo is something that I really, really, really like, because I captured the light perfectly. This is the weather. I think this is around October, so we get like this autumn light. It's not really cold around that time. And this garden, it's called Shanti Kunj. It's one of the relatively newer gardens in Chandigarh, which I later on found out. I didn't know that. Somebody local told me. And if you see that I have drawn a little bit of dots just above the heads of the subjects. So what I did was, there was actually little fireflies on their heads. So what I ended up doing was just making it more stark so that it's more visible, it looks more dreamy. Again, when I started this project, things like these were not something that I was interested in doing, but slowly, as the practice evolved, now I am more free to that whatever I want to do, I would do, rather than me restricting myself that this is what I had started the project with, and so this is what I'm gonna do. So the practice has, over the years, evolved on its own. Another photograph that people really connect with, and through those people, I have now grown to really love this image. Strange thing is that none of these people are actually friends. This is a very staged image, but they happen to be talking throughout this shoot, and that's something that came out in the imagery. The orange that you see, the orange dots that you see, I'll talk later about that. The vine that you see is actually, it has orange flowers during monsoon season, but it didn't around the time that we were shooting, so I ended up adding them later on. Okay, so I talked about the shooting process. I'll talk about the illustration process now. So I use particularly two techniques. After I'm done shooting, I revisit those photos, and it is important for me to not see that if a photo has been clicked, that it's at its final stage. I look at a photo and I think of it as a blank canvas. Now a lot of things can be added on top of it, and that is how through this project my process has evolved. So one technique that I use is the dots that you have been seeing throughout, and the other is collage making, so juxtaposition, layering one image on top of the other. So the image that you see behind, which is the bougainvillea flowers, that's an image that I have clicked, and the image that you see on top of it is the family portrait that you see. The dots and the illustration came from, as a kid, I always wanted to draw, but I was never very good at it, and that's how I ended up, I feel, picking up camera, that at least whatever is in my head, I can somehow translate it, somehow express it, and that is where it came from. And during COVID, couldn't do the kind of shoots that I wanted to do, and so I thought, why not on my iPad, I start adding different drawings on top of my images, and that is where the idea came from. And slowly, then this project started evolving, and I started adding more and more illustration on top of my drawings. And the works that you're seeing, these are relatively newer, so I still haven't added more to it, and I haven't exhibited them yet. I haven't shared them anywhere, but I thought that I should include it here to give you a better idea that how like a second stage of the project looks like, and how later on I might end up adding drawings or illustrations or dots or collage or some sort of more intervention the way that I want to do. Because these are newer works, you must be seeing that there is slightly evolved way of posing that you're seeing. There's much more interaction of the subject with the camera. The way they are interacting with their surrounding, with their nature, is a little bit more like out there. It's visible more of, rather than them just being part of the nature. They're interacting with it in a more obvious way. While I was reaching out to more and more locals to photograph different diverse groups. I started coming across a lot of queer couples who were very much open and interested to pose for the same series. And so the idea came about that that is something that my conversations with them started, and they said that the queer community in the earlier times didn't actually were open enough to be doing PDA in public in India. That was not something, so let alone them being out there or them having, like the society doesn't accept them, so they are not out there, and hence there is no actual photographic proof of them being out and just being themselves. And so this is that they said that we would very much want to be photographed in clothes and just looking like as if these photos were taken in the older time. This is where I feel Sunil Gupta also, that kind of work, how important that work is, comes in. And Chandigarh being a smaller city, and even though today Chandigarh has a very small queer population, especially people who are open and having conversations with the outside world. So this is where this came from. Again, like a very, very lovely couple that I'm friends with. And I'm like really, I appreciate that they agreed to be photographed for this series for me. Here, if you see the dots, the color is gone. It's more simpler because this is a very fresh work that I have made in this year. I'm also experimenting with my technique in a way that I am trying to incorporate the dots with the layers of the tree rather than me making the dots very stand outing. Like it's very much part of it's looking like rain, some people say it looks like a Christmas tree in a way. So which was something that wasn't in my mind, but so I'm trying to make the dots more part of the nature the way I made my subjects part of the nature. So it looks like a very homogeneous composition. So the earlier works and the later works kind of look different, even though they're just like 4 or 5 years apart from each other. So after photographing just younger generation for around 3 years for this project, this year I started reaching out to the older people in Chandigarh who were born in the city, because the city literally was came about in the 50s. So these are the people who were born in the city and they have lived in the city all their life. So these are people mostly in the age group of 60s, 70s, 80s. And I started reaching out to these older couples, and I've been photographing them, taking them to the gardens, having these conversations with them, and them telling me that, oh, this garden, when we were dating in our younger age, we used to come to these gardens to date. And so they have been telling me these stories, and I'm documenting these stories with them. So this is a newer, this is a very, like a new, to be honest, it's a very different experience for me, because I feel that I'm not very good, it's not easy for me to interact with people like a senior citizen. I know I get very awkward, I'm not good with it, but after doing it with 15 couples now, I feel that I have also learned in that process. For example, she was the loveliest subject ever, and this is her pose, this is not, I'm not doing anything. She was guiding her husband throughout, and she came up with the outfits, she came up with everything, and she styled both of them. I didn't have anything to do with it. And they were the loveliest couple, and so many pictures we clicked, and they had so many stories to tell me about the gardens. This is one couple. They are, I think, late 70s. That's the age group that they are from. And in Chandigarh, everybody knows them because they are that Chandigarh social couple, that they were born in the city, they are with the city, and they met when they were 16, 17, and this garden that I'm photographing them, they went on their first date in this garden. And so it was very, very, very lovely to meet them, talk to them. I photographed these literally like 2 months ago, but I thought that I should include these works here. This project for me ended up becoming a very, like a gateway into human connection through nature, because how I get very excited looking at trees and gardens, and I know which tree is gonna bloom when, and having these conversations with people is just becomes a very easy, you don't have to make the subject comfortable, you don't have to go through all of that, because if they are very interested in the city, and it's a very common thing in Chandigarh as a city also, people are just very passionate about the weather and the which tree and which flower is blooming when. So this became a learning experience for me, which again, didn't think of. Okay, this is a newer body of work that I ended up exhibiting at the Serendipity Festival last week. So this is the Sukna Lake in the city. It's a man-made lake, and it is like a marine drive of the city. That is where everybody goes in the evening for dates, for hanging out, for picnics. And I go there very regularly for my evening walks for the past 3-4 years. And all these photos are clicked on my iPhone, because it's easier to not be seen and photograph people from the back. So this is where this project came from. So I'm around big archive I'm building of just people at leisure, and that is where the importance of leisure in a very that hustle culture that we live in, that who has time to do nothing, who has time to just sit and just be. Like I have 100 things to do, and like if you ask somebody how are you, they'll not say how they are, they'll tell you they are very busy. So this is the project again, because garden series is also around leisure and acts of leisure and the importance of nature. So this is the similar themes that this project is also around. Just repeated everyday visits. Repetition is something that I noticed, that even though most of these photos look the same, you might think that these are the same people that I'm clicking again with. These are so many different people, different days, weather. But again, the photos themselves are creating a narrative, which I can just take a step back and look at the archive as a whole. And the photographs themselves start telling a story. I realized that the lake itself is a character in this. It's alive, it's very much responsive, it's very much part of the subjects that are in front of it. Everybody goes just there to reflect. I think water bodies, for example, the sea here, water bodies just attract humans. We just flock around, sit, reflect. It just becomes very, water makes us very introspective, at least like that happens with me. Just you start so this is a project that even though I've been photographing it for a while, I've exhibited for the first time and it's still taking shape. I have been on the prints, I have been doing different techniques in terms of silver leaf and applying silver leaf and giving them a very pahadi miniature treatment. I don't have photos to show you of that yet, but that's something that I have been working on. Because the themes around pahadi miniature is very much, pahadi miniature paintings is very much romanticizing leisure, and this is what I feel that these images also reflect. Initially, I thought that I should make this project around like women at leisure, but the more I photographed, the more I realized that even like men just being there, being themselves, and their bodies at ease and them having fun, just spending that time, and me just being able to notice that and just for a second and just move on so then I wanted the project to be more inclusive, just photographing groups, every type of people that I see. Yeah, so like if anybody has questions about anything, I can go through the photos again if you want. Yeah.
Do people approach you because they want to be portraited in the park the way you do, or does that never happen and you ask people if you can take their picture?
It's both. Ever since I've started working on this, the garden series, people have reached out to me, especially couples, that they want to be photographed in this way like their parents were photographed in their young age. But that's I feel that it's more of a commission direction that goes into, so I don't include that work here. This is purely people that I reach out to, or for example, I'll put up an open call that who all are interested. So whosoever sort of agrees that they want to be part of this project rather than the photographs being clicked for their personal use. So I keep them separate. Yeah.
Have you ever exhibited the work in these gardens?
No, I want to, but again, Chandigarh is not very art. Like the city being that small, not that metro approach of toward that art should be exhibited in different places. There are art galleries like Chandigarh, Lalit Kala, stuff like that. But I don't know, like exhibiting the work in the garden is possible the way the city works, because something like that hasn't been done. Like for example, at Sukna Lake, there are exhibitions hosted by Lalit Kala at Sukna Lake. It's a thing. But in the gardens, which I would very much want to, I don't know. Yeah, I have thought about it, but it's just, you know what, like too many problematic ways to go through. Yeah.
How many gardens were you able to do?
So I have mainly done 4, which is the Leisure Valley, which is the biggest of them all. Rose Garden is something people might have heard about because it's a famous one. It's called Zakir Hussain Rose Garden. Then there is Leisure Valley, there's Bougainvillea Garden, that's why you could see a lot of Bougainvillea repeatedly. And there is Shanti Kunj. So 4 gardens mainly, but there are multiple other gardens, but I primarily focus on these because they are the main central gardens in the city. Yeah.
So earlier you had mentioned that most of the poses were staged. So this is a question with respect to that. I'm not sure if this is right, but I've noticed a lot of the pictures have very expressive like figures, but rather blank faces. Are the blank faces staged that way because you think it'll take away from the nature?
The blank faces comes from family archive photos. That usually older photos, if you'll go and visit, people are quite confused that what is happening. So either they're gonna be caught mid doing something because if somebody just press the shutter and it's just film and it's expensive and do it, or most of that is what that I could come across. So that is why I wanted people not to be very expressive. So because it goes into the direction of posing. There's a very thin line that I'm a model, and from like how we're used to seeing people in fashion campaigns and all of that. So these photos could very easily become that if you just slightly change your expression or your pose. And you must have noticed people in my photos, you will not see the model kind of confidence in them because they're not models, they're like regular people and they agreed to be part of my project. So yeah.
For your illustrations in the Bougainvillea garden side, I guess you drew a lot of inspiration from those plants because
Yeah.
even when there's no plants, you could put the
Yeah, exactly. So the floral colors, I try to incorporate them in the illustrations as well as the colors the people are wearing, including like usually like it's very difficult for me to ask men that can you please look for colors which are slightly on a floral side rather than blues and blacks, because, and so doing that kind of color curation in the whole project has been something very important to me, and I bring it back again with the illustrations, with the drawings, if I feel that I can add more of a color narrative in the photos which is missing. So it's like just revisiting the photos again and again. For example, like if you write a diary entry, sometimes something else might pop up in your mind 1 week later that, oh, this is how I feel about that day now because I have more clarity, and you revisit and add 4 more lines. So it's something like that for me. All of these are like not one go process. I do it and then I will come back to it. I might revisit it because maybe like I saw something, I went to the garden again, oh, this is what the tree is blooming like. Let me go back and add. So it's more of back and forth kind of a process. I'm doing silver leaf work. So if you have have you seen the Kaju Katli, like the mithai? So it's something like that. So I'm adding so first time what I'm doing is now I'm not doing digital illustrations. I'm taking prints of these and I'm adding silver leaf on top of it, but not in a dot way, the way that I'm doing with Garden City. It's more of that just covering the whole of the water so the water feels reflective or shining, or covering the sky, or covering the concrete part of it. So it's more of that play that I'm doing. Yeah.
I have a question. So through your work, I see a lot of exploration with design, exploration with space. I see a lot of self-exploration, and I see how your work has evolved from where it started to where it is right now. But could you talk a bit about how you have evolved through the process as a person and as an artist?
So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a very introverted, shy kid. And photography, what it has done for me is, it has given me a lot of confidence to, it's one of those things that you start extracting confidence out of your own work, because you don't, usually if you're an artist and creating, you have a lot of self-doubt, and you just create out of that self-doubt without realizing if this is good or not, because that is all you know, this is all you have learned. But when other people appreciate your work, that gives a lot of confidence. That has been my experience. Like, for example, if people come to me and they especially like art school students, and they say that, I don't know if I want to make more and more work. I said that just keep making work for the sake of it, because that's what you want to do, and it will give you the confidence. So in a way that I have this theory that your work ends up saving you. And you don't realize when it happens. So the confidence that I have now, I didn't have 10 years ago. So I don't know where this is going in the future, but this is where I am right now. So this is how I, as a person, has changed. The risks that I'm taking, let me do this, let me do that, again comes from the love that you get from people around you when you put your work out there. And it could be love, it could be hate as well, especially like on Instagram and on the social media. But it's up to you what you want to pay attention to. So that is, I feel that is how I have seen myself change. You become more patient, as I said, that I revisit the same work again and again and again and again. Earlier it was more of that frustration that if I am doing a shoot, if I have edited it, why isn't it looking the way it should have when I thought about it in the starting? But that patience comes that, okay, it's okay if it doesn't look the way it needed to look right now, it's okay. It might look like that 6 months down the line when I revisit it, or 1 year down the line. So it's more of that. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah.
Most of your recent work, like the page pictures, like the people seem to be quite natural and in their zone. They don't seem to be aware of being photographed. I mean, you also mentioned that you used to put up open calls. So
Sorry?
Open calls so that people,
Yeah, yes.
so that people can agree to be pictured. So were these people aware of being photographed, or like,
Okay.
how they seem so natural?
Okay, so first of all, they are not aware. That is why I make sure that their faces are not visible. Most of these photographs are taken from behind, or you can see half of the face. That's why I said that the silver leaf that I want to add is also something that wherever the fully face is visible, like there might be few instances where, for example, here, that you can see a little bit of the face. So I intend to hide wherever that, as a viewer, you should feel that all these people are similar to what you are. So there shouldn't be that identity. That is what I want to add to it. And the body language should be very much relaxed, very much at peace. This is where I talk about that romanticizing this whole process of just being at the lake. Otherwise, anybody could be like that, what is important here? Some people are just hanging out at the lake and you're just clicking photos of them 3 years in a row. So this is why I want to feel that, I want to say that all of these people are what you guys are, and vice versa, because the identity for me of those people, because again, I don't have permission of them to take their faces. So I kind of blend these two ideas together so that I'm not taking somebody's advantage, but I'm also not showing some identity or expression right to the viewer. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions?
When you talked about the landscape part, the first thing that came to my mind was, how did this project start? Was that because you wanted to spend some time there?
Yeah, so this lake is very close to my house, around like 10-minute drive from my house. And I go there literally every day for my walk in the evening. That is where this came from. The sunset here is amazing. You end up clicking a lot of photos. And after doing it for a year, I realized that there's this pattern that is emerging, and that applying that my personal life and my artistic life together, this is what I started seeing, that, oh, I'm actually documenting the lake without even knowing it, just because I am there every day, every day, every day. So yeah, this is where it came from. Yeah. We should wrap up. So everything is, I don't use artificial lighting. So everything that you saw is very much how the garden is. So if you visit it enough, you can gauge the light, and you know what light would be there in like December and what time the light would be better in March. So just a little bit of an understanding. Plus, the more you go, you understand the trees, you understand the landscape and what part is greener around what time of the year, what flowers are blooming when. So just a lot of information that you unknowingly gather the more you visit the same natural landscape again and again and again. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions?
So, compared to the two works that you showed, like, what do you enjoy more? Because the earlier works was staged, had like a certain connection with whoever you were shooting. This feels like mostly strangers and you're just observing them from a distance.
So when I started photography, it was from staged photos. So then I went a little bit into street, as I feel most people do. You dabble into everything. You do a little bit of street. You might do a little bit of still life, like in your college days. You try to do everything. But staged photographs is something that I have continuously done. Like forcing my friends in college into just like pose for me, all of that. And so that's why I say that I see myself as like a creative director more than a photographer, because I like to style a person in a certain way, put them in a certain frame, and what all I can control in the frame, what time it's a lot of different elements that sort of combine, and then for me like a composition comes about. Because the other ones are my comfort zone, so right now I would say that, because I have done it for a long time. But this is a different, to be honest, this is easier for me right now. Because if you're seeing an image in the garden, it's a lot of pre-planning, then the shoot, a lot of post. So it's more, and gives you more sense of control, because you can decide the A point to the ending point like that. This is still new for me, even though I've been doing it for a while, and it has that element of street, it has that element of the colors happen to match, because I'm a very color-oriented photographer, that's how I work. So she's wearing red, there is a red flower there, I didn't do anything to it. The baby that the husband has in her, everybody's red, it happens to be there, and that is why it caught my attention and I photographed it. So it's like that reverse almost, that the composition happened to be there, which maybe I might not have thought of, and I happened to photograph it. So yeah, so it's still in the process how I feel about it, I feel. Yeah.
How did you get the idea of adding illustrations in the photos in the garden?
Yeah, so
Inspired from anyone or anything that inspired you?
not really. It just came out of boredom, that I said earlier, that during COVID, can't do new shoots, can't go out, can't do any of those. So revisiting older photos, maybe I can add more to it. Maybe I can say more through the same photos. And that is, I did a lot of, like, you guys might have heard, like people were doing online shoots, FaceTime shoots during COVID. So I did a lot of those. Again, like have to do something, have to create, a lot of frustration, like we all went through. So I added a lot of illustrations on them as well. So that gave me that confidence that I can explore this drawing, digital drawing, illustration world as well. And then this project came about, and that I just gained enough confidence from that previous project to add it into this as well. Yeah.
Is this a kind of project that you might consider doing anywhere else?
This one?
Yeah, I mean, either of them.
This one, yes. Because I feel that water bodies is a very universal kind of a phenomenon, and gardens is very like the state has to put in the effort to make the gardens, to maintain them enough for that people to come and enjoy. But as not every city, not every, for example, for that matter, every major city might not, that is not something that is common. But water bodies, I have noticed, lakes, ocean, riverside, is something you will find it everywhere, be it in the south, be it in, for example, Delhi. So I am planning as of now to expand it to Delhi and see how, for example, I was in Bombay 2 months ago, and on Marine Drive, people are more lost. And you can pass by, spend a whole 2 minutes clicking photos of them, and they will not realize that you're there. And Ketki Shet also has a series. She's a great photographer, everybody knows about her. She also has a series at Marine Drive from her iPhone that she has been working on for a few years, of just photographing people at Marine Drive. And weirdly, kind of has similar themes and all of that. So I'm thinking, but garden series, I feel, is for me, is just very much emotional connection to the city and how Chandigarh people connect with gardens. And I don't, you have to be in a place to understand how emotionally that, like, their memories, their nostalgia, everything is connected to nature. So yeah, that is, I don't know. But this, yes, I'm thinking, because this is still at an earlier stage. For garden series, I feel that it's heading towards, like, I want to wrap it up soon, in the next couple of years. That is what I'm planning. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Done.
Okay, I think we can wrap up this conference. Thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank Shuchi, and I want to thank CPP and everybody here, the team. I want to thank the Goethe Institute for hosting this, for inviting me from Chandigarh, from here. It has been a lovely experience. If you haven't seen the Lalit Kala exhibition and all the other exhibitions, please do. Thank you so much again. I'm really, really, truly grateful. I had a great time here. Lovely city. I went to the Marina Beach. I had a lot of fun. So thank you so much. Yeah.